All right, today we're going to embark on a pretty epic journey across our planet's single greatest feature, its magnificent, interconnected ocean. We're going to go from its deepest trenches all the way to its frozen poles and explore what makes each part of this global sea so unique. You know, when you look at Earth from space, it's not the land that grabs your attention, it's the water. It really is a blue planet. Over two-thirds of its entire surface is covered by this vast expanse of seawater. And that sheer scale is what we're diving into today. So even though it's all one giant connected body of water, we usually break it down into 5 major oceans. And as you can see here, the Pacific is the undisputed giant. It's nearly as big as all the others put together. We're going to start our tour there, then journey through the Atlantic, the Indian, and finally, we'll head to the really unique polar seas. Our first stop, the colossal Pacific Ocean. And honestly, it's so big, it's practically a world all on its own. I mean, just look at these numbers. They're absolutely staggering. 64 million square miles, an average depth of over 14,000 feet. And it holds the lowest point on Earth, the Mariana Trench, which plunges down nearly 7 miles. To put that in perspective, that's deeper than Mount Everest is tall. Now, here is a fascinating paradox. The Pacific is just enormous, right? It stretches nearly halfway around the globe, but it's actually shrinking. Yeah, the massive tectonic plate that forms its floor is slowly being pushed under the continents around it. That whole process is what creates those super deep trenches and fuels the volcanic ring of fire. And speaking of volcanoes, all that activity has helped create more than 20,000 islands all across the Pacific. I mean, these range from the rocky peaks of what were once mighty volcanoes to these beautiful low-lying coral atolls. Those are the ring-shaped islands formed from ancient coral reefs. So, as the Pacific shrinks, another ocean is doing the exact opposite. Let's head over to the Atlantic, an ocean that is literally tearing itself open and getting wider every single year. The Atlantic is the world's second biggest ocean, this huge S-shaped basin that separates the Americas from Europe and Africa. It's actually younger and generally shallower than the Pacific, but it still has some incredibly deep spots, like the Puerto Rico Trench. Okay, the most crucial thing to understand about the Atlantic is this feature right here, the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Now, this isn't just any old ridge. It's the longest mountain range on the entire planet, and it's almost completely underwater. It's basically a massive spreading rift where new ocean floor is constantly being born from magma welling up from deep inside the Earth. And this is the result. The continents on either side are being pushed apart at about the same rate your fingernails grow. I know, it might not seem like much, but over millions and millions of years, that slow, steady expansion is what created the entire Atlantic Ocean we see today. All right, from the growing Atlantic, let's journey now to the warm, tropical waters of the world's third largest ocean, the Indian. So, as we can see from its fact file, the Indian Ocean is famous for being the warmest of all 5 oceans. Its eastern edge is marked by the deep Java Trench, which happens to be one of the most seismically active zones on the whole planet. That makes the region a real hotspot for earthquakes and tsunamis. Geographically, the Indian Ocean is pretty unique. It's mostly landlocked to the north by Asia, which keeps most of its water in the southern hemisphere. And just like the Atlantic, it's got rifts where new oceans are actually forming, like the Red Sea, which in the very distant future will widen into a whole new ocean basin. This northern boundary also creates a totally unique climate phenomenon, the monsoon. You see, in other oceans, the winds are pretty steady, but here they completely reverse direction with the seasons. They blow from the dry northeast in the winter, and then from the rainy southwest in the summer, a pattern that defines life for billions of people. Okay, our tour is now taking us to the planet's extremes. We're going to look at the 4th largest ocean, the southern, and the smallest, the Arctic. These are frozen worlds, governed by ice, but as we're about to see, they are dramatically different from each other. This slide perfectly captures the fundamental difference between the two. The Arctic is an ocean surrounded by continents. In contrast, the Southern Ocean is a powerful ring of water that surrounds the continent of Antarctica. It's home to the super strong Antarctic circumpolar current, which basically isolates the frigid continent from any warmer waters. So, let's focus on the top of the world. The Arctic is the smallest of the 5 oceans, and as you can see, it's also by far the shallowest on average. Most of its surface is covered by this shifting cap of sea ice for most, if not all, of the year. But this frozen world is changing, and it's changing fast. The Arctic is warming up faster than any other region on Earth. This is causing its sea ice to shrink dramatically every summer. Some projections even suggest the North Pole could be completely iced-free in the summertime within just 50 years. So from a shrinking Pacific that feeds a growing Atlantic, and from the warm monsoons of the Indian Ocean to the rapidly changing ice of the Arctic, we see this incredible, dynamic, interconnected system. And that's the crucial point, right? These aren't really 5 separate oceans. They're one single massive global system, and it is absolutely bursting with life. You know, we've mapped the ocean floor, revealing these hidden mountains and trenches. But here's the crazy part. We've explored less than 5% of this vast realm. It just leaves you wondering, what unknown life forms, what incredible geological wonders are still waiting for us down there in the crushing darkness of the deep?